All right, family. We're in the house. We're in the house. Black power is the true power with General Sarah Seti. Kick back, get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. I'm excited and delighted to be accepting members to the Sarah Seti YouTube page. A dynamic page, y'all know what it is. Black power, black frequency. You're feeling that frequency and energy. You should most definitely join. Link right down in the video description is in the chat room. Click that link. You'll get a video introduction rundown on the memberships, what they entail. You see one you like, you should most definitely join, even if you don't. I appreciate your presence here at the Sarah Seti YouTube page. Continue to engage, continue to advance. That's right, family. Ring the alarm. KingSeti.com online marketplace. Official General Sarah DVD lectures, t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor, accessories for every room in the house. I got something for your family. I know you're going to like and love. Get over there, check out the catalog, get you something nice, get a discount, shop and save and shop. Pull the fire alarm, generalseti.com, SETI University, over 1,500 videos, 40 different subjects, all the subjects that you know and love from the general. We talking about the making of the white man, black Illuminati, Freemasonry exposed, hip hop agenda exposed. We got Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism. We got Naga Kush, Ethiopia, Egypt, Old Mecca. Did I say the Black Woman is God? We got the Black Woman is God series. We got Black economics, education, Black divinity, occult, alchemy, and we got the Grandmaster teachers, hand-picked lectures, documentaries from the general, so you know that ain't nothing but fire. You need to get over there. If you're not a member, I don't know what you're waiting on. It's a flame-throwing website. Get over there today. Don't you hesitate any longer, family. Everybody knows SETI popping on Patreon, dropping nuclear bombs on Patreon. That's right, family. The poppinest Patreon page out there. We going live tonight. I want you over there. If you want that flame, get over there. You see what I'm saying? You got access to over 500 exclusive live streams, never to be seen on any other website, nowhere on the planet. I want you to get over there. You get a chance to see SETI Live. SETI Live is lit. That's what you want. Become a patron today, family. And SETI on Rumble. Getting ready to rumble on Rumble. For everybody out there, I got that new computer coming in tomorrow. So I'm kind of, I'm digging this right here, though. You know what I'm saying? This is I like this. It had me, spitting. You feel me? When you on this damn celly, you have to spit. And so, but the computer will be in tomorrow, and most definitely I'll be back on Rumble, ready to rumble on Rumble, the Black Power scholar that won't stumble or fumble. I'm gonna disrupt things, though. I'm gonna disrupt class on Rumble. So become a subscriber today. All the family out there, donate to the general. I appreciate the fact you appreciate me. Any of the family out there would like to donate to the hardworking general, link right down in the video description. In the chat, click it, donate. I'll thank you ahead of time. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, King Seti, General Seti, Sarah Seti. Rock that notification bell. Give the video a thumbs up, like it because you love it, share it with your family and friends. And comment. Just don't say nothing stupid, because I will bam your ass. Okay, family. Today we got a line up. You feel me? I'm in the holy book, the good book. They say, it ain't good for too much, but we can most definitely go in here and pull back the veil on some hidden knowledge. You see what I'm saying? And let this be a stepping stone to the Kemetic studies, African studies. This is what our intentions is here. We don't want you to run back down to the church and shit. And, that's not, SETI showed us where, no. That's not what this is about. But it's most definitely a opportunity opportunity and a lesson to open up some chambers in the book, which they really don't want you understand, to unveil. But we're going to do that today. Nah, I see we got Negroes out there of the Hebrew faith. They disrespect Africa nonetheless. And so, why they can't, build with Africans and so on and so forth. So, you know what? It's not a problem. We can go in here and show, where Africa saved the so-called Hebrew Israelites from destruction. You see, they always go in there and show where Africa was, an oppressor, you see, to the Israelites. And the majority of the interactions, we were saving their ass. But don't nobody want to talk about that. If it was not for Africa, the goddamn Israelites would have been, you understand, they would have been exterminated if it was not for the Africans, the Egyptians, the Canaanites. And so we want to deal with this. You feel me? We want to deal with this. Now, first and foremost, let's talk about this, which they don't want to talk about. Let's talk about that. Let me get over here to the comments. Make sure ain't none of you. Yeah, we might get some creepy crawler niggas in there tonight. We might get us some creepy crawler niggas in there tonight. I gotta stay out. Okay, I see you out there. I see you out there, family. Yeah, let's talk about this. Number one, let's get in. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about it. Let's get on over here to yeah. What's up, Ray? You in the house? Yeah, I see Ray out there. Yeah, the hair cracker. Yeah, yeah. Ray don't be playing no games. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna talk about this. Let's get in here. Let's get in here. Now, first and foremost, I'm gonna talk about Joseph. Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about Joseph. And we know that this is a story, but see, there's some truth in that story of how they ended up in Africa. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times they try to compare. Yeah, they try to compare to our mother moderators, family, respect due. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Y'all stay on their neck out there. Yeah, yeah, let's talk about Joseph and how Joseph, they always want to make it seem like, they didn't came up, which they did. They came up in Egypt. That's where, that was the land of their refuge. You see, that was the land that gave them everything from education to nationhood. They didn't know nothing about no goddamn nation until after they came out of Egypt. Egypt taught them what a nation was. You see, the Canaanites taught them what a nation was. They didn't have no goddamn nation until after and they didn't build one from the ground up. That's another thing. We always talk about it, and here y'all go. And when I get on and they say, oh, that nigga said he hate LeBron. I don't hate LeBron. I just tell the truth. And I need to tell the truth. Is that right? Is that right? LeBron didn't build no goddamn championship. Maybe one. Maybe one. He didn't build from the ground up. That nigga fled wherever he seen that there was a team that has the ability of winning a championship. That's where he went. Yeah, when shit got hot in Cleveland, he was over there for 9 years. He couldn't get none. He fled to Miami. That's where he went, over there with Dwayne Wade and Bosh and shit. That's where he went. Ain't that where he went? Didn't build one from the ground up. He had to get with some brothers, that knew how to win championships. That's what he did. And so it ain't no different with the Hebrews. They ain't never built a nation from the ground up. Let's talk about that. And so now when we got what we got to talk about to show you that when the so-called they was only Israelites by name, not by nation, because they didn't have no nation. They was just the sons of Jacob. That's all they was, who changed his name to Israel. Other than that, they were some goddamn goat herders out in the desert. That's what they was. They was folding up tents. They didn't even know how to build they didn't have civilization. Because in order to have civilization, you got to have cities. You see, that's one of the main attributes of civilization, having cities. They did not have no cities. Every city that they say holy to the Israelites were already establishments of the Canaanites. Jerusalem, Zion, Hebron, that was Canaanite. Bethlehem, that was Canaanite. All of that was already established. And so all they did was exterminate the people and move in their homes. That's all they did. Took their language, took their God, you see, and God said the Canaanites was cursed, but yet and still they used the name of El more time than they used the name, which is the chief deity of the Canaanites. They used that name more time than they use Yahweh. El is probably the most used name in all the Bible, which is the chief Canaanite god. So that just show you right there. Now let's talk about Joseph, because what and a lot of people try to compare the African Holocaust to the supposed Hebrew Holocaust, in which nobody can document outside of the Bible. You see, and so what we do is we talk about when Joseph, who supposedly he was sold into slavery by his own brother. And I see these Hebrew niggas out here, they want to talk about how Africans sold Africans, but they don't talk about how Israelites sold Israelites, you see? And that's their reason of why they can't build with Africans, because Africans so, and we understand that, but we don't, we don't put that on everybody. We don't do that. You see what I'm saying? And if it be that we cannot work with Africans, and that's some Africans who sold our people into slavery, how is it that they don't bring that same argument up when it comes to Joseph and his own brothers selling him into slavery? You see, his own brothers sold him into slavery in jealousy of him. You see, because he said that one day he would rule over them. And because he was the youngest, they couldn't accept that. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't. So when it got chance, for them to, they ambushed him and, and they lay in wait. And when they could get rid of him, that's what they did, And so, Joseph supposedly came up in Egypt, he had, built himself up to the rank of governor. He was prime minister. Now, we understand that this is a story, but a lot of time people use allegory to express a hidden truth. You see, they use allegory to express a hidden truth. And it said that while he was in Egypt, all the lands outside of Egypt were in famine, in which they basically could not feed themselves. You see, and Joseph, saw his brothers come into Egypt looking for food. They had money, but they come into Egypt out from outside in Canaan. You see, come into Egypt looking to buy food, and Joseph recognized his brothers, but they did not recognize him. Now that also speaks to the fact that the so-called Israelites had to be of the same race as the Egyptians, because if they had been something different, you see, and they come into Egypt and they see one of their own, as a governor. That should have, sparked, or, like, wow, how did that happen? Who is that? That's a Hebrew. They didn't recognize Joseph as no Hebrew. They didn't even recognize him, which means that he had to look like everybody else. So that speaks to the fact that, race had nothing to do when you say Israelite and then you say Egyptian, or you say, those are only nationalities. You see what I'm saying? And not racial. Okay. And so when they found out that, that Joseph was their brother, they was in fear, because they like, well, shit, we sold him into slavery, and he might, now that he's in power, he might kill our ass. But Joseph didn't have that in his heart. And so he said, you know what, they wept. He said, but y'all my brothers. I ain't, I don't feel like that. You know what I'm saying? He knew that they was and they was in famine. So he asked Pharaoh, He asked Pharaoh that he could he let his family come into Egypt. That's right. And what did he say? Wait a minute. What did Pharaoh say? Let me see where that at. Well, nah, I'm in Genesis, and I ain't gonna do. I'm just gonna do enough for you to get the understanding. This is Genesis 45. Is starting in verse 16, and it said, "And the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brethren are come. And it pleased Pharaoh well and his servants. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, say unto thy brethren, this do ye, uh, lay your beasts and go and get unto the land of Canaan, and take your father and your household and come unto me. And I will give you good of the land of Egypt, and ye shall eat the fat of the land. Now thou art commanded, this do ye. Take your wagons out of the land of Egypt for your little ones and your wives, and bring your father and come. Also regard not your stuff, don't bring nothing. For the good of all the land of Egypt is yours. And the children of Israel did so, and Joseph gave them wagons according to the commandment of Pharaoh, and gave them provisions for the way. So right there, they don't talk about that. They see when they talk about Pharaoh, the only one they're going to show you is the one, where they supposedly was in slavery and so on and so forth. But the Pharaoh that had a good heart and say, you know what, Joseph family, y'all come on in here and eat. We got good land for you. Don't worry about shit. Leave that shit that you got out there. I know it's raggedy. You don't bring it. I'm gonna take care of you when you get here. You see? And listen what he said when he brought his father in. Listen, so what I want to express right there is that they did not come into Egypt like we came to America. You see, we came from the jump in, outside of our, Africans that was already here. Okay, we state that there was Africans already in the land. But yet it's still, millions that came across in the Atlantic slave trade nonetheless. You see, because these were some barbaric motherfucking crackers. And so they was exterminating a lot of people. You see, and so with their vision of planning all over, North America and even in the Caribbean. They exterminated a lot of people. And so they had to, replenish the workforce, and so they brought more over in the slave trade. But at the same time, we must state when they make a comparison to the Israelite and supposed Israelite enslavement, it was not the same as the African Holocaust. Because they didn't, them Cro-Magnon Neanderthals didn't treat us like they treated us like shit from the very beginning to the very end up into this very day. You see? And we're gonna state this that, then it says in 47, Genesis 47, it says, then Joseph came and told Pharaoh and said, my father and my brethren and their flock and their herds and all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan, and behold, they are in the land of Goshen. And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them to Pharaoh. And listen to me, because they always talking about that they built some damn pyramids. They ain't built no goddamn pyramids. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren, what is your occupation? And they said unto Pharaoh, thy servants are shepherds, both we and also our fathers. They ain't never been nothing but shepherds. So they was not no damn masons and stone cutters. And in the Bible, it don't say that they built pyramids of stone. It said they built pyramids with straw and mud. Okay, so they didn't have nothing to do with them stone pyramids in Egypt. We must state that also. Okay, let's state that. And it says, they said moreover unto Pharaoh, for to sojourn in the land are we come. For thy servants, wait a minute, have no pasture. Listen to me. Thy servants have no pasture for their flocks. They didn't even have grass out there to feed their flocks. For the famine is sore in the land of Canaan. You see, they were starving out there. Now, therefore, we pray thee, let thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen. And Pharaoh spake unto Joseph, saying, thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee. The land of Egypt is before thee. In the best of the land, make thy father and brethren to dwell. You see? Now listen to that. He say the best of the land. So Pharaoh allowed the Israelites to come into Egypt. He said, go get them. Now, he even provided the wagons and everything that they needed to go get them. Went and got them, brought them in, told them to leave their shit. I got something for you when you get here. And then gave them the best of the land. I don't hear these niggas give no credit to that Pharaoh and say, you know what? And you know what? I want to state this. It didn't say God told him to do it. Okay? Yeah. It didn't. That's right. Yeah. It didn't say God told Pharaoh to let him. It was of his own kind heart. You see? It was of his own kind heart that he allowed them to come in and gave them land. And it said, in the land of Goshen let them dwell, and if thou knowest any men of activity among them, make them rulers over my cattle. See, it didn't say let them be masons and shit and build pyramids. It say this is what y'all do. Y'all say y'all shepherds and all your fathers in your bloodline from the very beginning, that's all y'all ever known to be, was shepherds. He say, take them over into Goshen and let them be rulers over my cattle. And Joseph, listen now, and Joseph brought in Jacob, his father, and set him before Pharaoh. Listen, and Jacob, who is Israel, blessed Pharaoh, blessed him. You see, you can't. Who did he bless him in the name of? Shit, he had to bless him in the name of Yahweh. But we putting two and two together now. So it said, and Israel, Jacob, Israel blessed Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Jacob, how old art thou? And Jacob said unto Pharaoh, the days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not attained unto the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out before Pharaoh. And he blessed him. And now that's twice. He blessed Pharaoh. Like, thank you, Pharaoh. Because if it had not been for you, we would have starved out there. Our cattle would have starved. You see, our cattle would have starved. And Jacob, and it says, and Joseph placed his father and his brethren and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the best land, listen, in the land of Ramesses, as Pharaoh had commanded. So when they make this assumption that all Africans and didn't feed them and nigga, you don't even know what you talking about, nigga. You don't even know what you did. Them niggas don't even know what the fuck they talking about. You see, it was the Pharaoh that saved their ass from extinction. Because he could have easily said, y'all keep y'all ass out there. Let God feed you. Let God, perform a miracle for your ass. And then that way, that's the way you can eat. But he didn't do that. You see? And so, let me do this one before, because this can be part 1 and 2. This could be part 1 and 2. I want to talk about this. Because these niggas obviously they don't understand. They don't know what they talking about. So that's one. You see, that's one. But we're gonna talk about Moses. We're gonna talk about Moses, how the Pharaoh's daughter saved his ass. You see, but she should be a saint in Judaism. You see, yeah, Pharaoh's daughter should be a saint in Judaism. Huh? But they don't talk about that. Wait a minute. It's gonna have to be a part 2 to this, because I need to do and I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna put that in there. And it says, wait a minute. Now, when we talk about Exodus, you talk about chapter 1, and it says, chapter 1, verse 8, it says, now there arose a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. You see, and the reality was that Egypt was under attack. A lot of that came out of the lineage of the Israelites. You see, a lot of the enemies of Egypt came out. A lot of them, you see, because if they could sell Joseph into slavery, good goddamn well that they could sell the Egyptians into slavery. You see, they could say if they could sell Joseph, we know that they could sell the Egyptians into slavery. And so, they would when they brothers from the outside would attack Egypt, they would join their brothers. You see, and so that good relationship that they had, you know, that relationship had been strained. You see, and so now in the Exodus it says, here you go. We're talking about Genesis 1, verse 16. Now, this is when Pharaoh supposedly, at that time, issued a decree that the sons of the Israelites should be destroyed. That's what he said. And it says, and he said, meaning Pharaoh, when ye do, talking to the midwives, when ye do the office of a midwife, we talking about Egyptian midwives. And he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women and see them upon the stools, the birthing stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared God and did not as the king of Egypt commanded them, but saved the men, children alive. And so right there, it show you right there that the Egyptian midwives, they didn't do as Pharaoh had commanded them. Okay? So they did a good favor for the Hebrew, the Israelites. Did a good favor. You see? Saved them alive. And so, but you know, and the king of Egypt called the midwives and said unto them, why have you done this thing? Why haven't you done what I commanded you? And have saved the men, children alive. And what they said is, and the midwives said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women, now this is what they say, are not as the Egyptian women, for they are lively and are deliverer the midwives before the midwives come unto them. That's what they saying. Therefore, God dealt with the midwives, and the people multiplied. It said, therefore, God dealt well with the midwives. These are the Egyptian midwives. And the people multiplied and waxed very mightily. And it came to pass, because the midwives feared God, that he made them houses. Okay, those are the Egyptian midwives. It's just a story now. But we're going to show you that Africans looked out for their ass. But you don't hear about that. The African midwives looked out for their children and saved their children when they had been commanded to goddamn get rid of them. But God saw that and he blessed them and gave them houses. And Pharaoh charged all his people, saying, every son that is born, he really doubled down. Every son that is born ye shall cast into the river, and every daughter ye shall save alive. Now listen, and I'm gonna move on. And there we talking about Moses' mother and father. And there went a man of the house of Levi and took to a wife a daughter of Levi. And the woman conceived and bare a son. And when she saw him that he was a goodly child, she hid him 3 months. And when she could no longer hide him, she took him an ark of bulrushes and daubed it in slime and with pitch and put the child therein, and she laid in the flags by the river's bank, the Nile River, and his sister took off afar to wit what would be done of him. And listen now if Moses is in a basket floating down the Nile, she's scared that they're gonna kill him. And so she trying, I don't know what she trying to do, but she put him in a bulrush basket and sailed him down the Nile River. And the daughter of Pharaoh came down to wash herself at the river, and her maidens walked along the riverside. And When she saw the ark among the flags, she sent her maid to fetch it. And when she had opened it, she saw the child, Moses. And behold, the babe wept. And listen, and she had compassion on him and said, this is one of the Hebrews' children. You see? Now, I'm going to tell you just like this because listen to me. You hear me? Yeah. Yeah, we know you ain't never existed, man. Don't come in here with that. You late, nigga. What class? You been missing classes, man. Teach us truth. You been missing classes, man. You been missing classes. Anytime I hear somebody say Moses ain't never, nigga, you done missed a whole lot of classes. You done missed, wait a minute. No, okay, good brother. All right. You know me. I'm in my zone. Thank you, good brother. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? I repent. You know I'm gonna repent for my good brother. You see what I'm saying? I repent. Okay. Now, that's right. This is just allegory, but we teaching to show that, they always talk about the Africans and shit in this book. If it wasn't for the African, they asses would be done for. Okay, so now I want y'all to listen to this now. It says, and when she had opened it, she saw the child, and behold, the babe wept, and she had compassion on him. Now, she didn't have to have no compassion. She didn't have to have, and it didn't say God made her have compassion. She had compassion in her own good heart. And she said, and she saved the boy. Now, she could have went on ahead and say, feed his ass to the alligators. You got to take his ass over there where them alligators at. And feed his ass to the alligators. And you see where they say the first 5 books of Moses, this motherfucker will start, it'll start with Joshua. It wouldn't be no goddamn Genesis, no Exodus, no Leviticus, or none of that shit. This motherfucker will start with Joshua. All them books would be up out of there. You see what I'm saying? And it said, and she said, this is one of the Hebrews' children. Then said his sister to Pharaoh's daughter, shall I go and call to thee a nurse of the Hebrew women, and she may nurse the child for thee? And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, go. Now this is Moses hiding, she playing a role that, she don't know who the baby is, but she asked, do you want me to go and get a Hebrew nurse to take care of the boy? And she said, go get it. And so, of course, she went and got Moses' mother, you see. And Pharaoh's daughter said to her, go, and the maid went and called the child's mother. And Pharaoh's daughter said unto her, take this child away and nurse it for me, and I will give thee the wages. And the woman took the child and nursed it. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son. And she called his name Moses. She named him. And she said, because I drew him out of the water. Nah, that's another thing. So you see, the Africans saved their ass more than one time. Very crucial situations. Very critical individual. We talking about literally the most important person in the Old Testament, Moses. You see what I'm saying? And so this African princess, the daughter of Pharaoh, and raised them in Pharaoh's house. And you can see how adamant that Pharaoh was about getting rid of them. You know what I'm saying? So obviously he could not have recognized the Hebrews just by looking at them. It was the culture that they practiced. You see what I'm saying? It was the culture. So he raised this boy in Pharaoh's house for 40 years. And he never recognized him as a Hebrew. So that show you that racially they were of the same, they would had to been of the same race. Okay? Now for anybody out there, the good brother spoke wisely when he said these are parables. We don't want y'all, but in the history, when we break that down, it shows that regardless to, the situations as far as, the story and as nations deal with one another. It shows that the Egyptians, the Ethiopian were the benefactors of the Israelites, all them tribes out there, that they fed them, that they nurtured them, that they gave them education. And when it got tight out there in that goddamn desert, they fed them. You see what I'm saying? But we gonna also see in those same stories that they were the ones that bit the hand that fed them. The majority of the time that there was a interaction with Egyptians and Israelites, the Egyptians were their benefactors. You see what I'm saying? Providing for them, getting them out of extraordinarily tough situations. You see what I'm saying? If they had not gotten out of, their ass would be extinct. So I can show you right there where Joseph and Moses was saved by Africans. Okay? And if they had not been saved, then you would see no more books. It wouldn't even be no Bible. It wouldn't even be no bloodline. If Pharaoh wouldn't have saved Joseph and Jacob, it wouldn't even be no Bible. It'd be over with right there. And if Pharaoh's daughter had not saved Moses, it wouldn't be no Bible. It'd be over right there. So I want to show that the Africans show kindness and compassion to the Israelite. These are facts. So I don't want them every time they bring up Pharaoh in Africa, they bring up that they was in slavery in Egypt. Talk about what the fuck y'all did, because they asked in kindness and brought your ass in. And then there was something that your ass did that got you in disfavor with the Africans, but you don't want to talk about that. So I want to bring that up. We'll have a part 2 to this, right? Yeah, we'll have a part 2 to this. But don't go nowhere. We're just getting started, family. I want y'all to come right black. This is General Sarah Sunsetti. I want y'all to hit me up, hit up some of them links, support the general, arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that wicked ass beast daily, liberation through African education and confrontation. Black Pop.